cosplaying a worm.
What?
Oh, you know.
Someone's cosplaying a worm. Okay, good to know. Are you guys still, like, into the D&D campaign? Just a
What do you
general
mean?
question.
What do you mean by into it?
Because we haven't started it yet.
No, he means I
Not the
think
session,
what you
I mean,
mean,
like, the
EJ.
overall thing.
Yeah, if we're still vibing with it, if we're
Mhm.
still wanting to continue.
Because, I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
why
Because
would we not be?
I just question it,
But
because, like, everyone kind of, like, comes in very quickly, is mostly silent. We do the thing, then we all leave immediately. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of, like, feedback for me about it or like discussion of it. But as long as you guys are having fun, that's the measure of whether or not
hmm
you know it's worth it or
I
I'm having fun. So I just
I would
like
say
to hear.
that I enjoy it the majority of the time. Um, but sometimes it can be a hassle for me because, just busyness with life. But I'm more indifferent to it than anything else. So like because other people enjoy it still, I'm 100% still down to keep going.
Okay, that's good.
I miss I miss light.
Yeah, me
That
too.
is fair as well.
Yeah, I haven't asked her lately if she's more free. Last time I talked to her though, she was still very busy. So
Yeah, that's fair. It was for me. It was slightly more fun with light because I was building a story with her.
yeah, and now she's just been Thanos snapped out of existence for now.
It's okay. I'm not complaining about that.
Hmm.
But I'm really interested into seeing how she does that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes as well once she gets back. But there's a lot of other things.
But EJ, what about you? Are you enjoying this campaign?
Yeah, I'm still having fun. There was for the last like month or so when I was out, I had so much going on. Like I was taking a plane to Shroomies and lots of things in life that were kind of taking up my time and my focus. So I wasn't able to like even think about D&D, and I was trying to start up another D&D campaign in the background as well, but I kind of like lost all DM passion for that, and it was like all my creativity and time and energy kind of dissolved during all the busyness. So for a bit, I was like, "Oh boy, maybe I need a break," but um, I'm good to go now. Now that I've had a chance to like rest and recuperate a bit, and I still
Well,
want to
we're
finish the
always
story.
willing to let you have a break, and
No, I
we are
mean,
not going to force you to suffer.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I've had a month break. I'm ready to go, um, and I'm excited to try to progress the story and have us get into like actually developing the major like main plot at some point, I guess, because it's been a bit of a slow burn. Um, Wish we had longer sessions a little bit, but yeah, people are busy.
That's fair.
Anyway, I guess I'll ask Ray that when he gets back, maybe after the session as well. But in the meantime, so we've had a long and productive series of adventures thus far. We started off, going through a little dungeon cave with a mysterious power um, locus, something to do with the ley lines, I believe, that you guys freed from a cave that was once the home of Craig the Beholder, and
And
from from that cave you found a couple, magical artifacts and useful treasure. Mama Swizzle found a old rusty helmet that seems to speak to her, but I don't think either of you understand its thunks yet because you haven't attuned to its words. So only Mama Swizzle and Carmen could understand what the helmet was saying. You're still welcome to recheck that to try to understand the helmet if you want. Ananias found a dwarven dictionary that she brought along with her, him, and
I
Carmen.
didn't know it was a dictionary.
You got told that by the wanderer. You asked
Oh,
him, "Hey, what is this book?" And he said, "That's a dictionary."
oh, that's
He
hilarious.
got that pipe, which I believe he used in combat and broke it, but it's still worth something. It's, a pipe with gold filigree. And Carmen got a couple other dwarvish books. One was a spell book, and one was a some kind of lore book of dwarven culture of some kind, and it had a map on the front, which may have been helpful to you, but she's currently out of the picture. You
This
also
is very unfortunate.
then had a interesting excursion in the sewers where Ananias' cult basically blew up the city, and most of them died, being burned into the walls with a more or less charcoal, gruesome imagery of the burned out lines of what were once people, etched permanently into the wall as a haunting testimony to their final moments, while only a few people managed to survive the encounter in the sewers. You all more or less split up, not knowing that the other group were alive, and Carmen and Anais headed to Lunimus to discuss the political intrigue with the kidnapped prince and the looming threat of Dearth, which was the rival kingdom that seemed to be potentially behind this kidnapping of the prince, but perhaps not. But you were interrupted by a summons from Shadow and the other cult members who wanted you to regroup at Colville's Ash to see who of the cult was left to rebuild and resume their plot. And Shadow made it clear that he has spent far too long trying to see his mother again and will do anything to bring her back if he can. Qzith and Mama Swizzle found Gohan, a member of Qzith's criminal past, who was more of a mentor to him before he found his monastic tradition, and an assassin tried to kill him. The assassin apparently was hired by someone called the Shifter, and is involved with the crystal trade, but that is all the only clues they were able to extract from the assassin before Mama Swizzle, in a fit of rage that seemed uncharacteristic for her, decided to end his life.
He is now headless.
He is, indeed. Let's see. Anything else worth remembering at this moment? So, you all had gone to Colville's Ash, an old tower, for information, found the big circular chamber with shattered remains, and basically took down the whole tower as you fought a dragon, and now you extract yourself from the ruins and head out into the wilderness once again, looking out across a dead landscape, permanently dead and covered in white ash, but now with sun peeking through the clouds as perhaps the long curse of this land is broken. So, you've defeated the shadows that were lingering along the walls in there, and the rest of the cult has kind of disbanded, teleporting away, leaving you off far to the west. I always get east and west confused. Far to the west from any civilization that you have ever been to before, and you wanted to get back to the central town to try to see if you have any information, perhaps in the books that Ananias collected from Colville's Ash. The journal perhaps has some information that might be able to help you cleanse that town from the strange rift that opened as a result of the mess in the sewers. But without Carmen's horse to give you easy transport, or without knowledge of how to teleport yourselves, you
Hello.
are more or less... Hey, Ray, welcome. I was just finishing up the long recap. I was stalling for time. Sorry. Yeah, you all basically have left Colville's Ash and just started traveling back across the landscape towards the smell of a swamp in the distance, leaving the Deadlands. So, anything you guys want to discuss, talk about, or plan as you guys are...
Is Mama Swizzle wearing the helmet that talks to her?
It is in her
Nah,
bag.
it's in my backpack.
Oh.
I wouldn't be able to wear it because it's squished.
Yeah.
Oh.
It did get flattened during the collapse of the sewers. I forgot about that. It was very
Yipper.
weakened and rusty, so it's more or less just flattened, pitiful, like, sheets of rusted metal at this point that kind of, like, flap pitifully. It's really, really a sad day for poor little Rusty. So, do you all just begin trekking across the landscape on foot? Do you try to find any other means of, means of travel. What would you guys like to do to approach the situation?
Okay, so
Well,
we left
what
Kobold.
town are we closest to? Can I tell?
Well, the only map that you have on your persons that I know of is the map. I should have actually finished
It's old.
doing the art of the map for you, so sorry I didn't. The map that's on the old book you have, the Dwarven book from centuries ago. So the landscape might be a bit different from how it was in this time. However, if you were to look at that map, it might help you determine where you are in comparison to the rest of the world. But you don't know off the top of your head.
You want to do an MS Paint sketch?
Huh?
An investigation.
I didn't hear what Kat said because
Investigation check.
MS Paint sketch. She says, "Oh,
MS Paint? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I was so off on what I heard.
Same, actually.
okay. I could attempt that, but honestly, it wouldn't be that helpful because I'm so bad at art, and doing it on the fly is just gonna waste time. So more or less, if you were to look at that Dwarven sketch, you would see that there are several Dwarven, settlements that once were across this landscape, dotted around, and there is or was a thriving civilization to the west along the coastline, where now you would know remains only basically remnants of a great calamity that kind of wiped out that entire area and allowed nature to reclaim the world and kicked out most of the people as a result. So, more or less, this map is outdated to the point where there might be some ruins on your way, but it's hard to even tell exactly where you are because Kolva's Ash was constructed after this map was made, and Kolva's Ash does not appear anywhere on this map. So, from what you can guess, you're kind of out in the wilds beyond the civilized portion of the world, and it'll take you some time to get back. But, you do see very far off in the distance on the horizon a couple columns of smoke rising if you're looking for civilization. Let's go
What
there.
direction is it?
That would be east.
Yo, yeast,
Yeast.
young man.
Okay, so on the map, where did we come from?
What do you mean by where you came from? Like before you
Where did we go?
left to go to Koval's Ash, or
Yeah.
where you're coming from in Koval's
To
Ash?
Koval's Ash, where did we come from?
You came from Lunimus, teleporting from the
Yeah.
mountains far to the northeast.
Northeast, so we're vaguely heading in the right direction is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, if you want to go back to Lunimus. But Qzeth, I guess, was suggesting you go back to the town, or the metropolis
That's
of Westwood.
east anyways.
Yeah, both towns are east that you want. Those points of interest are
Wait, it's
east.
called Westwood and it's east?
Well,
My brain.
It was farthest
It's west
to the
of
west
something
as
else.
far as like reclaiming the wilderness. At one point, it was the westernmost town before you hit the wilds. Now you're farther west than that.
No, it always has to be west of us, EJ. That's how the name works.
Okay. As long as
North
you understand.
Richland Hills is
I don't-
south of me in real life.
That is
Oh, dear.
incorrect.
If you go,
No,
if
it
you
is.
Go far,
It is impossible.
If you go far
I
north
found
of,
Yeah, I don't know what her connection's like right now.
no, it's a little.
I said it's for real.
Yeah, I understand.
As for traveling, I think Mama Swizzle is going to try to tug at not QZ. What's your
Ananias?
Ananias? Thank you. Try to tug at Ananias to go towards the flame area, away from the flame area.
Blame me, oh hot man.
What are you doing, Mama Swizzle?
Mama Swizzle puts fingers on her heads like this, and then points at the smoke. Mama Swizzle.
What? Can you do that again, Mama Swizzle?
Mama Swizzle.
There's aliens over there.
Aliens are a thing?
Mama Swizzle.
Oh no.
Are you saying goblins?
Mama Swizzle.
Mama Swizzle, you're saying yes. Why is that a problem?
Mama Swizzle.
You want to kill them, Mama
Mama
Swizzle?
Swizzle. Mama Swizzle.
You think they'll kill us, Mama Swizzle? But Mama Swizzle, they might have food.
Mama Swizzle.
Mama Swizzle has food,
Mama
I say.
Swizzle's already eating.
Mama Swizzle like pulls out little snack from their bag and they're like eating nuts and I'm like, what? Share.
Just a bag of airplane peanuts.
Airplanes?
The lore of this world is quickly
what
crumbling.
direction are you saying we go, Mama Swizzle?
I point west.
West. Why do you want to go west?
Farther off into the wilderness,
Mama Whistle.
towards the coast.
Mama Swizzle, are you saying you want to go west for no reason?
Mama Swizzle.
I grabbed Mama Swizzle before talking to the bird. I looked down.
We're both birds.
Bird!
We're both birds.
Bird!
Yes.
Okay, where do you want to go?
Well, like I said, we should go to the nearest town. We need to, sort out our stuff.
Well, Mama Swizzle, it looks like the nearest town is on fire.
What?
Whoops!
How could you possibly know that?
Dude, my point at the smoke.
Mama Swizzle.
Well, I guess we better get there fast.
Mama
Yeah,
Swizzle
QC,
pretends to be old again.
I put Mama Swizzle on my shoulders.
Okay. And you begin heading towards the smoke?
Yes.
Alrighty. So,
Yes.
the
Mama Swizzle, let me know if you see any more aliens.
Mama Swizzle.
the terrain is rough and untamed.
Oh, that's rough, man.
To the south of you, so basically to your right as you're traveling, there is grassland, thick weeds, some occasional trees, and rocky outcroppings every now and then. On your left, as you're going, which is to the more the north, there is a huge marshlands, just an endless swamp as far as the eye can see. Think the Deadlands, I think they're called, from Lord of the Rings. But they're smelly and gross, and you can tell that it would be way worse to be traveling through the bog. So you're thankful that at least this grassland, though the grass is tall and a little annoying to wade through, it doesn't slow you down as much as those mud puddles would. But
I'm guessing since I'm being carried that my land stride doesn't take effect.
If I take one more step, this will be the farthest I've ever been from the Shire.
Yeah, more or less. What does the Landstrider do, Ray?
Movement from through non-magical difficult terrain casts no extra movement speed. Can also pass through non-magical planes without being slowed, without taking damage if they have thorn spines or a similar hazard. Also
Gotcha.
have advantage on saving throws against planes that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement, such as creating an entangle spell.
Interesting. You know, just because you have like druidic magic kind of coursing through you, we'll say that you have like enough just kind of innate druidy magic to kind of like help part the grass a little bit, just kind of like have it part in front of Ananias as you're going to kind of help you walk without it being as much of a problem. Why
Part
not?
the Great Sea.
Originally, I was going to say it doesn't take effect because you're being carried, but you know, I think it's more fun to have it take effect because of your magic, not just because you're like very spry and able to wiggle your way through the grass in your old age. So, yeah.
I noticed that despite my grass allergy, I'm no longer sneezing.
Nice. So yes, you guys begin making your way towards the distant hills where you see smoke rising in the distance, and as you're going, you begin to feel occasionally. So maybe you wouldn't notice at first, but as you get closer, you begin to feel occasionally the very distinct feeling of the ground shaking, like one solid boom. And then
It's
maybe,
the sun doing jumping jacks again.
maybe a minute or so before you feel the next one. Another boom, slightly more strong as you're closer. Just vibrates the ground, quivers beneath your feet, but you don't see anything yet as to where the source of this might be.
Spooky.
Who god is bowling? Anything to discuss about it, or just keep going?
Y'all hear that? Or feel that? I say after the 5th one I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I don't know what much we can do about that, but press on.
Mama Swizzle starts acting like she wants to go west.
Well, we've made so much progress this way already. We might as well continue on.
Do y'all think it's some footsteps?
I mean, it would have to be some pretty big feet.
Feet that take an entire minute to land?
I mean, big feet, big person.
I think for a second. Am I familiar with anything like this ever happening from where I'm from? I'd say probably no, but I did grow up with a beholder living around me.
Oh, you grew up near
so-
that town?
From what I was aware, that was one of the towns where we would regularly meet.
Yeah, that's true. Sure.
So would having the ground shake be familiar to me, or is this something I've never experienced before?
This is very weird, especially since, like, one of the biggest things you've ever encountered thus far was the dragon you guys just fought, and even that, as it hit the ground, didn't shake the ground as much as you can feel it earthquaking from this distance.
And what
All right.
about me with my long-lived years and my sage feature?
Honestly, you might only be able to hear it. You can't really like feel the vibrations in your bones because you're on Ananias' shoulders.
Okay.
So you just kind of like hear a faint thud kind of percolating through the muddy ground, maybe a slight ripple you see in the puddles off to the left in the swamp, and the grass kind of waving in response, birds taking off in droves as each footfall hits. And
No, I would definitely notice all that then.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem natural, whatever it is. Go ahead and roll me perception, I would say, as you continue drawing closer.
Each of us, or just
All of us?
All of it, yeah.
Okay,
Time to dust out my dice bag.
true.
Where is my die? I'm about to die.
Don't
My
die!
D4 is missing, guys, so pray it
Oh
reappears.
no. I
I
found
nat
it.
20'd,
I
Nice.
14'd.
Mm-hmm.
and I was just about to put
frick!
it back in the
I
bag.
got a 2, but my passive perception is like 11.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say that.
Well, that's too bad. You went blind.
Yeah, it is a subtle difference in terms of angle, so it's not terribly easy to notice. But Ray, because Mama Swizzle is so like in tune with the natural order of things, you're able to kind of discern the epicenter of these vibrations, and they don't seem to necessarily be exactly aligned with the smoke rising, it seems like a little farther off to the side towards the swamp area. And if you really squint your eyes looking over in that direction, you can kind of see rising in the horizon, just like kind of parting between some of the gnarled swamp trees far in the distance. You see potentially like the shape of something man-made or something that's not supposed to be there, like an oddly shaped, very angled rock or a building of some kind. Not sure what it is exactly, but you see the silhouette
Of a man.
in the
Skadadoosh,
distance.
skadadoosh.
Is that what
Yeah.
what Mama Swizzle did anything or just sits there?
Yeah. So the other two of you, you feel the thumps, and it seems like it's coming from ahead of you, but you might not notice the couple degrees of difference that points it towards more the swamp instead of the actual fire.
Well, since Mama Swizzle feels like it's coming from there, she's going to try to get Ananias's notice, but just by like tapping her shoulder, and then point towards the swamp. Mama Swizzle.
You want to go to the swamp, Mama Swizzle?
Mama Swizzle.
Dear Lord, you and your fear of aliens.
I think she just really likes the woods.
Mama Swizzle.
I mean, we found her in nature, didn't we?
Let's keep going forwards, Mama Swizzle.
I can't really figure out how I would explain this to her, what Mama Swizzle wants.
Well, that's very unfortunate, right? Maybe you should have played a character that can talk.
I know, right?
If you point exactly at the thing you're looking at, and you're like very, like if you find a way to zoom it in or like point out the specific structure that you see, you might be able to get their attention on that.
Mama Swizzle, what are you gonna do?
Mama Swizzle gets
When
off
they
your
come for
shoulders.
you, Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
Mama Swizzle like wiggles around enough, trying to get off my shoulders that I set her down and we stop for a second, and I put my hands out and ask for some of her goods like nuts and trail mix that she's been having earlier.
I pour some shells and nuts, excuse me, in your hand.
Some shells? You just crunch up seashells?
Oh, you know.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it. You get what you get when you grow up a thief, well, or a cult member.
So
Right.
she points back at that same area, but this time she stomps on the ground, like trying to cause the ground to vibrate type stomp, but probably failing really hard because she's not very heavy.
While I'm eating my trail mix, I just look at her and I think about what she's doing and I realize you're angry because we aren't going to the swamp.
Mama Swizzle just face palms.
Okay. QZ, help me out.
I'm not good with Mama Swizzle's charades.
Oh, what happened to you know everything Mama Swizzle says?
Well, I know what you're saying. I just don't know when you're playing these charade games.
Okay. Mama Swizzle, she's pointing again at the swamp. Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
There's something important in the swamp, Mama Swizzle?
Swizzle. She points at you with excitement.
How did you get
Wait,
that? from
I
what
know
she
that I'm
just
tall,
said?
Mama Swizzle, but like,
Mama Swizzle?
I'm not a giant.
How do you know exactly what she said? I say to the goose, "You're a genius."
No, Mama Swizzle didn't say that I knew what she said. She said that I was a giant.
That's what I said.
At this point,
Mama
you hear
Swizzle?
a pitiful, like, flapping, kind of crunching sound from Mama Swizzle's bag, just like frantically. And Mama Swizzle, you would understand that it's the helmet going, "Oh my gosh, please, please!" You guys can try to roll to understand the helmet if you would like.
I roll to understand
An
the sounds.
intelligence check.
Intelligence?
Yes.
My passive intelligence
15.
is 16. Should I roll higher than passive?
I mean, I've made you roll in the past for everyone to do it, so
Okay.
you can just go ahead and roll.
Guess what I got?
Is it a natural 1?
No, it's a 9.
Okay. That's total? For intelligence?
9 plus 3 is, something, 12.
Okay. So
So I got worse than my passive, which kind of sucks.
yeah, I'd say you're still kind of caught in the moment. You're like you've never like realized that there was a pattern to the thunks yet, so you still don't necessarily understand. But Qzeth, you kind of like catch on at this point that the flaps of the helmet are actually like communication, and you can now understand what the helmet is trying to
I
communicate. or
understand it
what's left of
better
the
than I
helmet.
can understand Mama Swizzle.
Yes. Somehow.
And
By
the helmet
inexplicable
can
means.
understand Mama Swizzle, right?
Yes.
I can
That's
talk to
hilarious.
Mama Swizzle now!
Yes.
I was like, you could always talk to her, I say.
You just hear the helmet like swearing under its breath at this point because it doesn't realize you can understand yet.
I think the helmet is cursing. Get those dirty words out your mouth.
Helmets don't talk, I say.
Mama Swizzle
Nor do they have
brings the
mouths,
helmet
now
out
that I
of
think
her
about it.
backpack.
Now that you're paying attention to it, if you'd like, Ananias, you can, try one more time to like understand it now that you're realizing it's relevant.
Okay,
I hope to
I am
goodness.
going to roll again.
They see you rolling.
I rolled a 7. There's no way I'm understanding this dang thing.
Okay, you'll get it eventually. I believe in you. So the helmet's
She's so
like-
convinced that the helmet can't talk.
I'm like purposefully disbelieving that it can talk at this point. I'm like, no way.
yeah.
No way.
Impossible.
No way that this like flattened like rusty pancake can speak words. So it flips and flaps and just goes, "Well, Mama Swizzle, what are you trying to communicate?"
I'm trying to tell them there's something in the swamp that's causing all this quaking.
Okay, so the helmet goes, "Please, for the love of everything, can you understand me yet?" Towards QZ.
Yeah, I've always been able to understand you.
Oh my gosh! Who are you talking to?
You just hear like more
the
enraged swearing.
helmet?
He goes,
So you can talk to Mama Swizzle and the helmet now?
I'm just the great communicator.
If I had a face to palm, I would be doing that right now. Okay, Mama Swizzle wants to point out to you that there is something in the swamp that's causing the thunking. I can't remember. Is that exactly what you said?
yeah.
there?
Go ahead and say that.
Yeah, something like that.
But before he went to explain, after saying if he had a face to palm, Mama Swizzle just palms the side of him.
Ow! Ow! I'm still a little crinkly. Okay. Need some repairs before
Wait,
you can
stop all that racket, Mama Swizzle. I can barely hear myself think.
do that.
Mama Swizzle.
Oh my goodness.
I still have no idea what's going on for y'all's information. All I hear is clanging.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm like,
you can
I'm
only hear
with
their half
two-
this conversation. Or QZ's, really.
Mm-hmm. So there's something in what is in the swamp though? Like what is causing it?
I don't know. I can't even really see anymore. I'm so smushed. I just can't perceive the world around me. I'm just... All I know is what I can hear. And Mama Swizzle really wants to communicate that there's something out in the forest, or like in the swamp, and she wants to get you guys' attention about it.
Mama Swizzle.
Well, attention has been gained. I mean, is it really that important to stop?
Mama Swizzle.
She says yes.
Well, if it is, then it is, I guess.
Does it look
If
dangerous, Mama Swizzle?
what is, I say, upsettedly.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What did you say?
I said, does it look
I'm
dangerous?
talking
No,
to the
no.
bird now. If what is, I say, like, a little bit annoyed that, he's just talking to himself.
So the helmet is saying that Mama
Oh,
Swizzle.
right, this again.
Well, you were the one who asked.
Okay. What is the helmet saying? I tap on the helmet.
Ow.
The helmet is saying
Get
that
on with it.
Mama Swizzle is saying there is something in the forest that we should check out.
Forest, swamp.
Swamp. Swamp is a type of forest, to be fair.
Yeah, you're right.
I blink.
She blinks.
What is in the forest?
Said Mama Swizzle would not explain that, but that it was causing problems. I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal. Mama Swizzle hasn't said whether or not it is.
I'm a swizzle. She just shrugs.
Sounds like it's no big problem.
Mama Swizzle, is this a problem? I look at Mama Swizzle.
You see cogwheels just going in her head, and then she just nods real quick.
So it is a problem. Mama Swizzle says it is a problem. You clearly can't actually understand her.
No, I understand her perfectly. It's just whenever she's doing these weird charades, like it doesn't correlate with what the word she is speaking is.
The word she's speaking doesn't correlate with what she says because she is not speaking.
Please, can someone slap her?
No one's slapping anybody, Helmet.
Ah,
Least of all you. You don't have any hands.
I'm
or a
sorry.
mouth.
Like the little flaps do. I'm sorry.
Who's holding the helmet at this point?
Mama Swizzle is.
Mama Swizzle, stop banging that thing around.
I'm a swizzle.
Mama Swizzle takes her hands off. Does it say
He
anything
just
else?
falls
Can
to
I
the
tell
grass.
it's flapping by itself?
Yeah, it's flapping by itself in the grass.
What the heck was even wrong with that?
Did she not realize that I was doing this in the past?
Well, I haven't been around them that often, I'm gonna be honest.
Can I give you want to roll one more time now that you realize that the helmet is doing it on its
Yes, I
own
would
and
love to.
roll with advantage, please.
Please.
Sometimes there's things where it's just so obvious you don't have to roll for it.
Yeah, well, it's
Okay,
just because
I got a 15 plus 4. So
Okay,
I
you
think
got
I-
it. So you strain a little bit more, and the thunks slowly kind of form more or less understandable sounds, and it's tinny in the audio, but like you can understand that it's desperately trying to communicate. And it just says "ow" as it hits the grass.
That's an oof, my dude.
Now everybody can understand me through
Yay.
the helmet.
Through the helmet, yes.
Yes.
Helmet, say that again.
Ouch! I said ouch. Please don't leave me behind. I don't want to rot in the grass forever.
Mama
Helmet,
Swizzle picks him back up.
I personally would like to apologize for assuming you could not speak.
That's no worries. To be fair, it is a weird enchantment. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Originally, I was a sword.
Oh, you're enchanted. Now that makes sense.
I mean,
Wait, you're a sword?
I was a sword. And
Could you
then
talk?
I was
A talking sword.
Yes, I could still talk as a sword.
Can
Only-
we
This is a
can
lot
we
of
make you a
questions.
sword again?
I would love to be reforged into a sword. I could stand against the goblin armies again and, relive my former glory and be useful instead of a rusty helmet. Clearly that's not working out for me. So please, if you could find if you could find somewhere to reforge me, that would be great.
I know the perfect place, I said. And I think back to the magic place I was taken to with
Mhm. Isabella?
Isabella while I was staying at Carmen's.
Yeah.
I know the perfect place, Helmet. Do you have a name?
Yeah, Rusty. Wasn't my name originally, but I've gone with it. I've embraced it.
I know,
Mama
I
Swizzle
say.
starts stroking the helmet.
Oh, that tickles. Oh. If you do that a little harder with like a steel brush or something, yeah, get that rust off. That'd be great.
I start digging in my backpack to see if I can find one.
It just kind of like shivers. So yes, I've always longed to be reforged into something more useful, but seeing as I'm more or less, my soul is forged to the metal every time I'm reforged, it kind of dilutes it a little more, my connection. So, eventually I might not be able to talk anymore, but I would be a lot more comfortable and a lot more happy if I were not what my current form is. Even just an ingot would be better than this.
I nod. I say.
I've been reforged a fair few times already, so I can't guarantee I'll
Haven't
still
we
be,
all?
able to speak. But thank you all for taking me out of that cave and, giving me a view of the world again. Such a nice change of pace. Anyway, so Mama Swizzle says there's like something in the swamp, but I think I heard you say you were also going towards something else, so up to you what you want to do. Mama Swizzle is dangerous?
Mama Swizzle?
I don't know
What
what
did
that
you
means. EJ doesn't.
What did you say?
I said, is it dangerous?
Is it dangerous?
I don't know, but it's causing the earth to shake, so I suppose there's some sort of danger.
He relays that to you guys.
Wow. Mama Swizzle doesn't know, but she supposes there's some sort of danger, so it causes the earth to shake.
Well, I suppose we could take a vote. The four of us can each vote. Whether or not we want to investigate or continue on. Mama Swizzle, I assume you vote we should go. How about you, Ananias?
Do I get a vote? Can I vote?
I did say the four of us.
Oh, yay! I'm included. This is the most I've ever been included. Oh, yeah, Gohan's there. I forgot Gohan exists. I'm sorry.
Five of us.
No, the six of us. Oh, wait. Carmen's gone. I'm kidding. 7 of us.
I look at the swamp and scrunch my face up in disgust. I personally would rather not, I admit.
Oh, well, that's fine by me. Mr.
Mama-
Hattington.
Mama Swizzle pats her on the arm lovingly and gives her the big birdie eyes.
I'm gonna roll for Gohan to understand what's happening.
Poor Gohan!
He understands now. Actually, no. His first roll, I didn't. Yeah, he doesn't understand what's happening, but he's just remaining silent as he watches you guys make this decision.
Okay. Hattington. What
Rusty.
say you?
Well, obviously I can't see, so I don't know what's an easier path to walk. But I'd say go wherever makes it. Can you go to both?
Well, yes, but it just would take longer.
Okay.
So both, I guess. I mean, I suppose we're not in too much of a rush, seeing as, well,
What's your goal?
our
What are you trying
previous
to
quest
get or
was a
do?
little bit of a failure. I suppose we're trying to do good in the world. We should go to the noise.
Who says we're trying to do good?
What if it's a big scary thing that you can't do anything about? Then you'll just die.
Well, you know, we've already fought a dragon. I suppose we'll be fine. I vote we investigate. Appeal to Mama Swizzle.
Mama Swizzle!
Okay. Go on.
I think that we should perhaps go towards the smoke before we examine the thunking thing, just because the path is easier, and then we check the swamp once we are closer to that place.
It's half and half. Helmet, you should make a decision.
Oh, I can't, I don't
I
have
mean,
eyes.
there's only one way for us to do both, and that's to first investigate this mysterious noise. So, the hat weighs in Mama
well,
Swizzle's favor.
Or first, we could go to the smoke.
Are you using voice to text? Cat?
maybe they have
No,
forges?
no, she was just talking slowly.
Maybe.
Yeah, she is.
No.
Imagine if there's, you know, the elven forge from which I was crafted. Ah, I would love to see the day. Anyway, the shaking ground isn't hurting anyone, is it? And at this point you might notice that the thumping has actually stopped. It hasn't happened over the past, like, 5 minutes of this conversation, whereas previously it was once about a minute. So, it seems to have subsided for now.
I guess you're correct. Let's go to the town first. Who knows which one's closer anyway.
I'm sorry, Mama
But-
Swizzle, I didn't mean to go against you. Thank you for getting me out of there. Please don't drop me off.
Mama Swizzle pretends to put him down on the ground.
No,
And then
wait!
just pats him. And
No,
then puts him.
I will rot forever. I'll rust into nothing.
Well, it's not very nice to tease the helmet.
He just gets
Mama
dropped
Swizzle.
in the pack and he's like, everything's dark. I don't know what's happening. Am I left
Just
alone?
torturing it.
Oh dear. Not hurting true, so it can wait. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Are you okay, Cat?
I think she's just trying to use text to avoid getting cut off
Oh.
again by
Oh, okay.
the voice, but I mean, we could hear you pretty consistently for a bit.
Okay, so the vote goes towards going to the fire or whatever that is. Smoke.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
It is, let's see, you guys spent the night in the, Colville's Ashen came out, and decided to head out after spending the day, so yeah, it's probably maybe noon-ish.
I say, I definitely don't want to be caught out in the swamp in the middle of the night.
That is fair. Well, I mean, like I said, we were heading to the town at first anyway. If this noise continues on anymore, we can turn back after we make it and investigate this smoke. So much to do these days. Life was so much simpler when I was just wandering by myself.
Mama
Oh, man,
Swizzle
I can
just
tell you
pats you on the
stories about
arm.
wandering by myself. Man, now that I got so many people to talk to, I can go on all these stories.
Doesn't mean we're gonna listen, Paddington.
Just tune it out, turn it back into noise of thumping.
Poor Rusty.
Just forget that it can talk every now and then.
Yeah.
We have to
Poor
redo
Rusty.
this whole ordeal.
So, it seems like you all are deciding to go towards the smoke again, since the thumping has mysteriously subsided for the moment. You make your way towards the foothills where you see the smoke rising, and as you get closer, it becomes clear that these columns of smoke are rising from some pretty substantial fires. They're not like just teeny little campfires, they're at least like big old bonfires. But they seem to be staying, consistently separate pillars of smoke, so it doesn't seem like a full-on wildfire as well. You make your way towards the, well, possibly settlement over the next couple of hours or so, and as you climb the crest of the hill, you all can look out to the left towards the swamp, and you see, well, with much more ability to see the structure that Mama Swizzle had tried to point out, basically the giant torso of some large statue or mechanical construct of some kind with a large spear in its hand. It is humanoid, more or less the shape of a dwarf, and its big, thick, stocky mechanical arms are by its sides.
So
as
are
it
we
holds-
kind of thinking Talos here when you're talking about that?
I don't know what that is, but maybe. I mean, Colossus things are common to
Right.
many different media, so you're probably thinking
Okay.
right on track. And it's got a big kind of like Spartan helmet, more or less, that kind of catches the light with its the bronze reflectivity. It does seem to be covered in quite a bit of like growth as well. Like it's been aged quite significantly, and nature tried to reclaim it, and yet such a large structure that you can only see from the waist up from this distance. It's out in the swamp, more or less. That's probably what was causing the big thumps as it moved around. Estimating from this
So
distance.
we've discovered the source of the mysterious thumping noise.
Yeah.
It's a pipe
Yay!
bomb. Yay!
It seems. It's hard to tell exactly how tall it is, but you can tell it's real big boy from this distance. If you'd like a more specific estimate, I can either give it now or later. But yeah, it's probably at least, maybe 50 stories tall or something. I don't know. I can't estimate very easily. But it's you would estimate maybe 1,000 feet tall, something like that. Anyway, and as you look down towards the fires that you were, tracking down, you do see a camp of some kind. It appears to be more or less temporary. It's got tents instead of buildings. Oh, yes. Yeah, more or less that. It's big. It's that thing. But with lots of like moss.
David and Goliath.
Grass and
David and
lines
Goliath.
covering parts of it and dimming the shininess. So yeah, there's a settlement down in the valley past this hill, nestled amongst a forest that's starting to spread out past the grasslands, and amongst the fires, which appear to be coming from forges, you see a bunch of dwarves happily working away and kind of hammering their metal and doing various things as they kind of run around and move different objects around. They seem to be trying to work on some kind of war contraptions, maybe like a giant catapult crossbow thing. You're not exactly sure what they're doing, but there's certainly some activity going on down there. What would you guys like to do? Obviously, you don't seem to have been spotted yet as you're looking at this camp from a distance.
Wait, so there's no giant bronze guy.
There is a giant big bronze guy.
Can we
He's
describe
in the
it?
swamp.
I like that the conclusion that she came to is
I
that there wasn't one.
Describes giant bronze guy for like a minute straight. Oh, so you're telling me there's no such thing.
He's
sorry,
in the swamp.
He's in the swamp, but we're not in the swamp. We're
No,
at the,
we see it from where we are better than we were
gazed
before.
into the swamp.
and is he's fallen over or is he upright?
He seems to be upright, at least the torso up that you can see of him.
What? Oh, it was footsteps.
Mama Swizzle.
Well, we're all just discovering new things today, aren't we?
Mama Swizzle takes Rusty out of the backpack and tries to show him around the dwarf camp.
Wow, I can see like hazy light instead of hazy darkness. Wow, this is great. Thanks for taking me out. The fresh air smells nice. Hang on. Everybody pause. I hear thumping. Do you hear the clang of hammer on anvil? The metal? Is there in fact a forge nearby? I'm so excited.
Yes, there is.
I can be remade!
Well, are you not? How are you so certain that this enchantment isn't also protecting you from being reforged?
I've been reforged 6 times already. I mean, I think worst
Oh,
comes to
but
worst, I
it's been
can't.
that way forever.
I mean,
Like-
my soul is stuck to this metal. Like, it does get less strong of a connection every
What
time
if
I
we
get
cut you in
reforged.
half?
I don't recommend it. That would probably hurt.
That's
Get more and
an
more
answer,
deluded.
though.
With every dross
While
that's
you're being
removed.
forged, does it tickle?
You know, it's kind of like when you go into the sauna and you're like sweating out all the impurities, and then you're like, massaged into shape with a hammer. Have you? Yeah, I don't.
And when
It
you're
feels kinda
poured into the
nice.
mold, how does it feel to be liquid?
Like you can just run anywhere.
I would have just now EJ DM to DM. I would have just said I honestly just black out because of the pain. Not have to answer any further questions.
I'm having a good time, all right. So what are we waiting for? Go towards the
Well-
banging, and he like flaps in the exact opposite
I
direction.
mean, well, we were heading towards the town. That is correct. Mama Swizzle, if you wanted to stop and with the blacksmith, I see no reason not to. As well, Hattington here can translate for you now.
Paddington.
I suppose we can trust you to be on your own now. That's well, it's from these ventures as of late. It's gonna be interesting to let you go. It's a. I'm not getting emotional. But Mama Swizzle, you've really grown up over this past time, and I'm excited to see you put on that backpack, put on that helmet, and get out there and.
As he's making this really long speech, Mama Swizzle's already walking towards the blacksmith.
They just grow up so fast, you know, Ananias.
So there's actually 7 forges, and you can see many dwarves working as you draw closer. And once you
Oh,
get,
wait, don't reforge him all the way. You want to have that done by a professional, I say.
don't
Just get him a little shaped up.
Not into a helmet
You're
gang.
calling all the blacksmiths in
Not
this
to harp again.
professional.
Listen, I know the place. I know just the place. And they deal with artifacts just like you.
So as you draw within earshot of the dwarves, you can hear them singing a jovial tune as they're kind of like working away, hammering their metal. They don't seem like.
May I reenact the song?
I was going to, but if you want, you go for it.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy diggy hole. Diggy diggy hole.
That's great. That's a good one. But they're not digging holes though. They're blacksmithing this time.
I am a dwarf and I'm smithing some tools. Smithy tools. Smithy tools.
That's great.
I love it.
Would you be bothered if I did what they're actually doing or no? I don't want
No,
to
go
take up too
ahead.
much time.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, alright, may as well. I thought to make a horseshoe and asked my hammer thus. He said, I'll ask the anvil what you require of us. The hammer asked the anvil, and she at once agreed that they should meet together in the way that I decreed. And it's sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I thought to make an anchor for taking on the main. The hammer and the anvil relented once again, so they sat there together As I prepared the cast, they braced themselves for impact like a sailor on the mast, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I thought to make a broadsword for fighting on the field, much as I know the hammer is a nobler thing to wield. For though us humble tradesfolk choose a quiet life, the gods of war come to the door of the hammer and his wife, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song.
EJ, did you write this?
No, it's a song that actually exists, but I learned it already, so I figured I may as well.
That was
work.
so good.
Thank you. It's still going, but I guess I could stop now.
No.
Oh, keep.
I was interrupting you to ask if I could record you because you're doing a really good job. That's why.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go
You
for
do
it.
sound really good.
Thank
EJ.
you. I very much
I
Okay,
appreciate
thought
it.
someone
okay.
streams
I wish I had an
this.
actual
Wouldn't it
hammer
already
to,
be
like,
recorded?
Thunk.
I mean,
No, turn on your
doesn't each-
camera, and then I'll record it, and then I'll post it as a little.
My camera is on. I've been
No,
on.
you, Nathan,
Why?
because for clickbait. Nathan,
Yes,
clickbait.
I think
No,
you were
I-
saying, Pumpkin. Yes, it is being recorded for the VOD as well.
Exactly, it's already
so-
been saved.
But
So
if you
you're
wanna
just
have it
interrupting
twice,
it
that's
for
fine.
no reason. You just
No,
messed up the
no.
VOD.
I'm still going. They asked me for a statue of the general who died. A sword clutched in his iron fist, and a warhorse sat astride. And though I knew they'd try me for what I did decide, I stuck a hammer in his fist and an anvil by his side, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. Now all you merry blacksmiths, a warning take by me. Stick to your country horseshoes and your anchors for the sea. When the gods of war come calling, promising you gold, they'll take your hammer, take your anvil, take your very soul, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song, and its sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I messed that part up. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
Now, with the whole
Been
thing
great.
again. I'm gonna
Gotta
make
do
you
the
sing
whole
that
thing
again.
again.
I
No.
will.
Do you want
at
me
some
to?
point. No.
Sure.
I'll
Some
make you
point.
do it after the whole thing so I can record it.
Sure, may as well.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so yeah, the dwarves are having a great time. They're vibing. They're all kind of hammering in unison with the clank of their hammers as they, take the breaks to reheat the metal again and then bang it again as they bring it out of the forge. So as you all are approaching, there does seem to be a couple lookouts, but they only catch you like once you're basically within their clearing, so they weren't like terribly paying that much attention. There's also a bunch of stumps nearby as they've, they're using a lot of wood to burn these fires. Don't know if that affects you, Mama Swizzle. So, how are you guys acting as you come into this jovial camp? The people who spot you, they just kind of seem surprised. They're not like immediately hostile, but they come up to you.
As Mama Sizzle hears the singing, she's just dancing along with it.
Nice.
Hello there. We are
Just recording.
No. Well,
No.
maybe EJ is.
Oh.
Ah,
Ah,
recording.
okay.
It's always recorded at the very least.
Yeah,
Ichi records each one of these.
I gotta remember what I said sometimes.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I would
Um,
never remember like who had which item they picked up from the ruins or whatever.
Yeah, the entire campaign has been recorded.
That is impressive.
That's quite a few hours, I must say.
And I rewatched them frequently.
And
to
we're
remember
adding
things.
on more right now.
Mhm.
Poor EJ. You're doing such a great job, EJ. You're a great DM.
Thank you.
You are.
I do what I can.
Indeed. Hello there. We're just adventurers. Coming to see what this smoke was. We were concerned wildfires could have been starting to spread. We also saw that bronze giant Don't know if you all noticed it.
Oh yes, laddie, we're very well aware of that.
Oh dear, they're Scottish. We must
imagine
murder.
Imagine I could do a Scottish accent, because I actually can't, but I'll try. I'll try. So the dwarves do talk that way, classic Gimli, Yes, adventurers, it's been a long time since we've seen any of you kind around here. What brings you out so far? Has the civilization finally caught up with the wilds this much?
No.
Mama Swizzle holds up her smushed helmet friend.
Oh, you got a piece of metal there, lad. Seems a little worse for wear. Are you looking for some repairs?
Here. Yeah, so that's not just, this is such a long story. That helmet metal thing, it's enchanted.
And just starts flapping excitedly.
And you see its movement is language. Now you understand it too. Congratulations.
I'll have him roll.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, okay.
Some of them might think I'm crazy now.
Yeah, it starts flapping excitedly. Yeah, he understands it enough to be like, oh, it seems very eager to be forged again. That's a little odd. How did it get this way?
I sat on it.
Well, I think yes. That essentially. Marion, jeez. Marion, come here.
I feel like
She's screaming.
my character puts her hood up because there's so many people around. They don't quite feel safe, and their hood being down, they realize like, whoa, I have a sunbird. Like, I haven't had my hood down for that length of time in ages, and so they re-put it up as they're entering this town. I know it's getting close to dusk. Am I right? Like it's not quite as bright.
You just being fed.
So it's like afternoon time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said it was midday. So by the time we get there, I'd assume it'd be like.
You were saying evening, and I was like, yeah, sure, but then you were like afternoon time. Definitely afternoon, at least, if not evening.
Okay.
So somewhere between there.
So somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it's like counterintuitively, I put up my hood while it's starting to get slightly darker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as there's more people around, I start to like squish up, and I scoot closer to Mama Swizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Swizzle holds one of your arms and just pats you.
Okay, thanks, Mama Swizzle.
Cute kitty. So if you don't mind me asking, how is it that you all are out here this far? Like, what brings you to our lands?
Yeah, another one of those long stories. So, well, we were, you see, this town, it kind of, it imploded a little bit, and that, that was maybe, we tried to stop it, but, maybe it was a little bit our fault. So we decided, well, let's go and fix it. Oh yeah, we thought some of our friends had died, so we went on an adventure, found people, and stuff. There was this building. We went over to the building and we were like, yeah, maybe the thing that can fix this is in that building. And then it wasn't. There was a bunch of ghost monsters there and a dragon. We killed the dragon, and then we found a bunch of other stuff, and now we're trying to leave and go back.
You lot killed a dragon? That's impressive. Huh. You see him like go as you're like getting more and more frantic in your crazy description. He goes from like stroking his beard, following you, to being like, "What the heck is going on?" Well, I must say I'm impressed. Did you get a hoard of treasure from that, might I ask?
Yeah,
they bring it together.
Well, we'll go back for it later, likely.
If someone else doesn't get to it first, be careful with that.
No, it doesn't seem like anyone's been there in forever. I think we'll be okay.
Fair enough. Mama Swizzle, you disagree? You're welcome to speak
Mama
now.
Swizzle's just thinking, this guy's telling these guys everything. Where the treasure is that we left it behind.
I didn't tell them where it was.
Yeah, I mean, if it's this close, yeah, imagine they just like walk across the horizon a bit. Oh, hey Nova. Cute. Sorry, distracted by the cat. Okay, so you're out here because the town exploded. That's the gist of what I've got, understanding this.
Mama Swizzle.
Well, to answer your question about the giant thing, yes, we're very well aware of that, and we're honestly rather glad to see you. Adventures are just what we need at this particular moment, because, well, we've made a bit of a mistake, and we could use some help in clearing it up. And it has something
Well-
to do with the giant automaton.
Ah, yes. Well, the Goose God does have a plan for us all. So, it was quite honestly destiny that we would,
Wait, what did
encounter
you say
you
about
here,
the
I'm
goose
sure.
god?
You forgot about the goose god, EJ?
No, what did he say about it? I missed like 2 words. I came back in
It
and
has
he's
a
talking about the
plan
goose.
for us all. I was saying there was destiny.
Gotcha. Ah, haven't heard of the goose god, I must say. But open to new
I
ideas.
can tell you a great deal.
You know, you might be more right than you know about the goose god having a destiny for us. I'll have you talk with our chief real quick, and he goes over to find someone who is like
Now
poring
that is what I call charisma. Walk into a town, scream at the locals.
He
Or
straight
walk
up
into a
rizzed
camp,
them
scream at
up.
the locals, and then I get to meet the chief.
Strawberry Goose is getting some action.
What? Hey now.
He's the Riz Lord.
The Rizmeister.
Okay.
The Rizmeister.
So the lookout calls over a dwarf with a white beard who has been, poring over these schematics for quite some time, like seeming to be the overseer of this project, whatever's going on. And he quickly comes over, still got like some forceps and a hammer in his hands, and he just kind of looks you up and down and, kind of gives each of you a quick nod. Gohan included, who still remains silent just because I don't want to do too many voices having to go back and forth. Well, hello there. So, what can I do for you lot?
Another Scottish man.
The lookout quickly explains to him, basically what you said. Ah, are you looking to help us with our big old problem then?
Mama
Well,
Swizzle points at her smashed helmet.
Oh, yes,
You
we
know,
can
we-
certainly help you with that as well. No problem. Forge is already fired up.
Indeed.
Why
and,
is it flapping so much? Is it like fancy metal? I've never seen it like had this much thermal expansion for no reason. And he's like, he takes it from you and immediately notices it's like flapping of its own accord. Oh, I see, it's magic. Well, I must say, reforging magical items usually causes them to lose their enchantment. And then, let's see if he understands it. He got a 3. Luckily, the lookout understands it, so he can relay the words as Rusty's like, nope, I've got my soul bound to the metal. Not quite the same kind of enchantment. And his eyes kind of darken. He's like,
Enchanted
oh,
at the atomic level.
soul forging is, long banned art. Not something that you want to be messing with. Is this a recent thing that you've done?
Mama Swizzle.
Oh. And the helmet quickly explains, no, it's from ages past. I've been around for centuries. And he's like, huh, I see. Well, it is more or less a forbidden art and not many, dabble in it anymore. We can still give it a whirl to reforge him, but I can't promise I understand it, so more or less it'll just be standard forging and hope for the best, because soul forging is a long forgotten art, imbuing metal with the soul of a living being. That's obviously, you can understand why that would be not the kind of thing you typically want to partake in, considering
I tap
it's evil, I guess. You tapping him?
on the helmet.
Oh, tap on the helmet. Ah,
Are
that
you
tickles!
okay
Stop
with
it!
that?
Stop it! That tickles!
Are you okay with that? What he said?
Everything tickles to this helmet.
Yes. I'm happy for the risk. I mean, worst comes to worst, my suffering finally ends and I'll be released from my mortal coil. Otherwise, I'll hopefully be better off. I can't possibly get worse than being a, like, flappy piece of paper.
I raise my eyebrows and I tell him, trust me, can be worse.
Reassuring.
I don't understand what you're have you had it worse than I have? I've been trapped under the ocean for centuries. My only friends were fish.
Much worse.
I
Much
have
worse.
most of my body's rotted away. I am a flapping Man, I'm sorry for your life. Anyway, so the dude in charge kind of goes, well, I guess I'll hand this over to, you know, one of our forge masters and we'll get you sorted out with this. But in the meantime, would you like to hear about our problem with the, well, the big old monster we've created and we need some assistance with?
Mama Swizzle.
Yeah, no, we've got not much else going on.
Very well. So he quickly gets a couple of instructions from you, Mama Swizzle, about how you want him to be reforged. Rusty's very adamant about wanting to be reforged into a mighty blade. Are you okay with that, or would you rather him be forged into something else more practical for you?
I want him to be forged into a morning star that I can use.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. We'll
You're just gonna throw him?
What?
No, a morning star is a like.
It's a base.
Oh, right.
It's a
right.
type of
mace,
mace.
Yeah. It's type of mace.
You know, I'm actually not sure there's enough metal for that. It's not a big enough, you know, amount of metal to create the big spherical weight at the end.
A short sword then?
That'll work. We can make that happen. We can have it be long and light and sharpen it to a T. We'll take
Sounds
right
good.
care of that, and well, I hope your talkative friend survives the procedure. You're welcome to watch as we work over here. And
I don't think he needs to survive.
poor Rusty.
He said it will end his suffering. I mean, perhaps. Or make it worse. In my opinion, you definitely can get worse. You can get to the point where you are forged into something, but you can no longer communicate. And I think that's definitely worse.
So, what did you say last, QZeth, about in response to hearing the plight?
Be happy to help.
Okay. So, more or less, here's the problem. Our tribe, the Toran clan, has been around for quite some time. And, you know, we're a conglomeration of the Firebeards and, you know, these other people, but we were kind of all lost from our homes during the Great Calamity. There was, you know, several great dwarven settlements that we had, one in the volcanic mountain, you know. We made a lot of interesting advances in technology, but once we were forced from our homes, we lost a lot of that. And in the process of doing so, well, we left some things behind that maybe shouldn't have been left to rot, including a big, gigantic watchtower man thing. And for centuries, no one knew how to really fix him or reactivate him, so he just kind of stood watching over the Great Lake to be a guardian for against the Underdark and the forces that arise from beneath. The Great Lake has an entrance to the Underdark, and he was supposed to watch over it, but the Great Centurion, we call him, stopped functioning a long time ago, and no one knew how to fix him until we came along and tried to fix him up. Problem being, we did. And he started moving around again, which caused some of the Underdark creatures who had, you know, come out to live in the slimy swamps to think he was a god and begin worshipping him. He took on a life of his own, and now he's running amok, causing problems, and growing more powerful as the Underdark creatures worship him. seems that these creatures, the Kuo-toa, they have some uncanny ability to believe and worship so hard, like their belief in something hard enough causes it to gain more power and become real. They've been called the God Makers because their insane machinations tend to grant more power to the things they worship. So we accidentally may have created an evil god. That's basically the gist of it. So we're looking for a way to destroy it and break their faith in it and hopefully give them something a lot more harmless to worship instead. So, long story short, maybe your goose religion could help. And also your firepower. Adventurers are always known to come up with great plans.
Do you think our goose religion could help, or our goose religion is what you created?
We created a
tend
big
to think
statue.
that the goose god, he's kind of more like a watching type guy, you know, free will and all. We make our own decisions, so you know he just watches over us and helps guide us in our ways. So honestly, I don't think he's gonna be actively helping us all that much.
Well, I was mostly saying if you can get them to believe in something else, like
Oh, for sure, yes.
that would help tremendously. Because if whatever their belief is in, that's what gains the power. So if they're believing in their giant
Me.
enshrined
Oh,
automaton. Oh no, they start their own cult. No.
Believe.
Listen, I'm
Nothing.
already taking charge of this cult. Let's make it bigger, okay?
Oh
we can do
boy.
this.
Let's do it, just for the shits and giggles.
Wait,
Let's have
This
like
might not go
however
as we
it
wanted.
I have a plan.
I have an idea.
We just convince them that nothing exists.
Atheist mega churches.
Suddenly they all become solipsists. And the world
And
disappears.
they can stop believing and there'll be no more problem.
Unfortunately,
Nothing
these creatures,
is better than
their entire religion is,
nothing.
or like their culture is based off of believing in something, and I don't know if it's possible for them to stop believing in general.
Well, they would
Well,
be
don't
believing in
stop
something.
believing.
What they would
Hold on
be
to that
believing in
feeling.
is nothing.
No, I'm dead. Oh my gosh. Okay, your adventuring plans are a little out of my league. Let's start with what I've got already going on. My workers here are planning to build a bunch of these, like, huge crossbow ballista things. We're just gonna try to brute force take down their god, prove that he's mortal, and basically dismantle him from the inside out. If we can, easier said than done, because the more they believe, the more powerful he gets, and the more of a life he takes on for his own, so any ideas on how to take this thing down would be great. And then, hopefully, replace their belief system with something that's a little less destructive to everyone. That's the plan, as it stands so far.
We just gotta show them something more powerful.
Yes, sure.
Mama Swizzle points
As
at
long as they don't believe in it too much. Points at Ananias. Oh no.
Yeah, Ananias.
So, we do know how the machine works, more or less. It's got some power sources on the inside, several different ones, because each of the different, limbs and body parts have such a power draw, they required their own systems that can be individually disabled. We've got some schematics, but it was originally constructed many years ago, so we only know as much as we were able to, piece together from reverse engineering it and trying to repair it. Yes. So, what plans do you have to help us out? Any more creative ideas, or magic in particular, would be really helpful. We don't have a lot of that. Only mechanical knowledge.
Do I still have a way to translate my thoughts to him, or did they already take the helmet away?
We'll say that they haven't done that yet, just so you can keep participating in the conversation. Sorry.
You burp.
I did. I'm sorry. It snuck up on me.
I ask, can lightning damage do anything to it?
Yeah. Oh yes. Well, of course, yes. Yeah, so the way the wires internally work are more insulated spells with lead wiring. It's similar to the newer inventions, but just an older version.
Is there a way to put a lightning rod on him to more concentrate the electricity?
Yes, that could work.
I can
I'm just
summon
thinking
some
it wouldn't
pretty powerful
necessarily-
lightning.
That would do some damage. I don't think that would necessarily completely disable him, because overloading his circuitry is not quite as simple as simply, you know, electricity.
Well, that's why I'm asking for
But
a lightning rod to
breaking-
increase the concentration.
Yes, that will help, for sure. If you could channel some natural lightning as well, that would certainly help.
I would need a thunderstorm to channel natural lightning.
I can't help you there. I've got no control over, the weather. But
What
now that you
language are those
mention it,
written in, by the
there
way?
is a storm giant that helps to watch over the Underdark. You could query him for help. He lives at the entrance to the Underdark in the middle of the Great Lake. But that's a bit of a journey.
I believe that this lightning idea might work well if we can make sure to get that lightning rod by the time we get the lightning giant to help us.
Aye. Or we could just, stab him a bunch with ballistas and blow him up. I always like tearing him limb from limb.
We could use that as plan B.
I like it. More than one plan is usually a good plan. Especially when you're attacking something as big as, well, Empire State Building, which I don't know exists.
Do we have a name for this Colossus so we don't have to keep on saying that giant thing?
EJ didn't think of a name for it.
Colossus is a great name.
The name was
Way to go.
lost to history. We've just been calling it the Colossus.
Colossus?
If you want to come up
Alright.
with a name for it, I'm all ears. Just not like
And
Lost
something
this
to
dumb like
Colossus-
History
Fluffy.
is a very weird name to have.
How
This
about Tiny
Colossus-
Tim?
Is what you made into a god?
Both of you
The
spoke.
dwarves didn't.
What did you say, Kat?
The denizens of the swamp did.
Mm.
Yeah, the
And the
swamp people.
dwarves do not approve of this.
No. The dwarves repaired the automaton trying to use him for their, own purposes, but unfortunately the swamp people were like, "Oh, a big awesome thing! Clearly we worship it as a god," and then it kind of got out of their control.
Okay. I think we will go in person and visit it before we go to the whatever it's called.
Lightning giant?
Yeah, to the giant. I think we should go first.
Go visit
For
the swamp
no
people?
reason in particular.
Oh boy.
No reason in particular.
This can only end well. We need to get light back before y'all kill each other or yourselves.
Fair.
I've been telling her occasionally, like, little updates on, they accidentally dumped Mama Swizzle, like, 50 feet off a cliff into necrotic ooze, and she's like, "These stooges!"
I've barely been keeping us together. But I would love to continue right now, but I have been working on stuff in the background and it's becoming too much of a focus for me right now. So I really think it would be best, especially because this is due in 2 days, if we make it a pause point here.
No worries.
Now that we got like the next story point though on, I feel like
Yep,
excited for it again. So
only had 8 minutes left anyway, so no worries.
yeah, I'm gonna hop out the call though because
I'm
things are happening.
very excited.
Oh
Talk
I
to you
have
boy,
a
later.
plan.
I'm
I have a
scared.
plan.
Well, you still got a long way to go to get back to like the rest of civilization. So hopefully this is fun.
I'm gonna
side
write down my plan so I don't forget it.
Nice. Yeah, if you can come up with like some amazing like combination of all your abilities that like takes this thing down, I would be so down. It would be very exciting.
I think I know what her plan is, and I think I'm going to try to support it too.
Okay.
I'm a little worried because it might not go how you
message
hope.
me what you think my plan is, and I'll tell you like if you're right. And
I
also,
think you're going to try to convince them that you're a goddess, and they transfer their worship to you, making you.
Okay,
more powerful.
listen here. That's not all of the plan. Like, there's more to it. Okay, you
That's
gotta
step
understand.
one.
Like,
There's
there's
like
a way in which I'm gonna go about it.
Oh, good times. As twilight is falling, by the way, in the camp, and you guys are discussing your plans, Ananias, you get another message on your red pendant.
It glows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot! I hop off into the slunk off into the trees. Just back away real quick.
Mm-hmm. It's from Shadow. It just says, "I've got a plan. Keep the outsiders away from Colville's Ash for a couple of days." It says, "I've got a plan to get the information we need."
What would that plan entail?
Okay, you send a message back asking what the plan entails.
Yeah.
As you sent... No, I guess it... Mama Swizzle, roll me perception.
Okay.
So you send a message.
No.
You send a message back, and then a message comes back in a little bit saying, let's just say, with Colville the Vile's body and mind both destroyed, that now presents new opportunities to bring him back that weren't available before.
24.
You notice that your bag starts to like get hotter and kind of glow a little bit as
Mama
you...
Swizzle's bag.
Mm-hmm. Mama Swizzle's bag.
Okay, well, I start rooting through it.
You see that
I don't know what's in Mama Swizzle's bag. That makes me nervous.
Well, Mama Swizzle, you see the 1,000 red gold pieces kind of glowing, not as brightly or as concentratedly as Ananias' pendant, but you see it kind of activating or like halfway glowing, and like just little bits and bobs of message kind of like flashing and shimmering across the coins as you're kind of looking at them, but before it kind of fizzles out.
Oh no.
Do I catch any of these messages?
No, it's only like a letter or a word here and there. It's not very like concentrated down into a usable form, it seems, but
Ananias,
did I catch any of the words?
This is so bad.
yeah, I'll say you do catch a couple of the words. You see Colville and return.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Now the coins want to go back.
And as you're separated from the group, Ananias, you do notice off in the distance, like in the trees of the clearing, your old friend, who's just kind of sitting there. He gives you a little wave.
I nod at him.
He doesn't make any effort to walk towards you. He's waiting for you to come to him if you want. You don't have
Okay,
to.
I go to him. Yeah, sure. I didn't realize he was allowing.
Hello there. You almost died a couple of times in that dragon fight. I told you it would be dangerous, but I'm glad to see you made it through all right. Here, to help you out for the future, and he kind of snaps his fingers, and with your level up you gain this ability where you can basically roll a d10 to add to one roll per short rest to increase it, and basically give yourself like a bardic inspiration kind of thing to not die as much. So, he's like, here, let me give you something that'll help you out a little bit and make you slightly less likely to die. Because I would really hate to see anything happen to you before I even, tell you what I need you for my plans. But yeah, as long as you don't die, just keep doing what you're doing. We're very close to when I will need you, by the way, so keep an ear out. Anything you want to hear from me? You want to say you miss me?
Yeah. So.
Trying to riz her.
Yeah.
He's a lot more charismatic than I am.
Let's see. How many books am I carrying on me right now?
I believe 3?
3 books? Okay, I know I have the tongue book.
Mm-hmm.
Have I already asked him about that book in specific?
The tongue book?
The
No,
tongue.
you have not.
Okay, I asked him about one book. I found out it's a dictionary.
Yep.
And I have a book with a map. Is that the dictionary or is that a separate book?
The book with the map is in Carmen's bag, actually.
Oh. It says in my list of possessions, I have old book with really old map.
Okay. I tried to look back in the notes of who had what book. Unless there was a time where, like, you gave that book to Carmen, I think originally Carmen had it, or like, yeah, so unless Carmen gave that book to you, I don't know, maybe I made a mistake. So yeah, sure, if you have that book, you can ask about it. Is it the same book or a different book with a map? I can't remember.
I might have a different book with a map.
Okay.
It is one that I found, I believe, it's on the very bottom of my list. So I think it's one that I found inside of the tower.
Maybe.
It is below the tongue book in the list. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I found it after I found the tongue book.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
So it's
I
very
forgot about
recent.
that. Unless they're organized
and-
alphabetically.
They are organized alphabetically?
Unless they are. They might be. I'm not sure. Most
They
things
are
in
not.
D&D are.
I didn't do that. I organized them in the order I obtained them because I've just been making a list.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what it is. I would rather ask about the tongue book. I'm gonna pull it out and show it to him.
Ah, you see his eyes widen. Well, now that's not something I've not seen in quite some time. Well,
You recognize it?
I do. I do. There was a certain dark wizard, shall we say, who had a habit of cutting out the tongues of those who disagreed with him. The man who owned this previously is not the original owner of this book, shall we say, but he used it as a journal and to cast a couple spells that he maybe shouldn't have been able to. I'll let that sink in for a moment if you'd like.
This isn't the first book I've seen of its kind. Well, of its kind, yes, but it's not the first book I've seen by this author.
Oh, yes, yes. I see what you mean. Indeed. There was another book that our old buddy Colville wrote, and it somehow found its way into the hands of your young friend, or sister as you're calling her now. Yes, well, I'm sure that can't go wrong. He smiles like the Cheshire Cat.
Oh, that's so cute! Who do you serve?
Oh,
Do
no
you mind
one.
if I ask?
I don't serve
No one?
anyone.
Yourself?
Well, I guess that's not entirely true. I serve the good people of where I'm from, but there's no people left
Easy for you.
yet. Yet. That's what I need your help with, but we'll get to that.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome, my dear. Don't be a stranger. And then he
Real quick, before you go, I say to him,
Mhm.
right as he starts to disappear, then he
He,
comes
like,
right and
he goes to
stops
75,
disappearing. Like,
75 transparency and then comes back.
Like, okay. The contents in this book, is this something I should be looking into or using? Or do you think I should stay away from it?
You should do what feels right to you. I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past you to cause some problems, but that'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
I
enough.
think this
Okay.
book has the answers you seek and other tools that'll be helpful to you. And like I said, you can use it to cast some spells that you might not be able to ordinarily. So just keep that in mind. You know, spell scrolls are one thing, pages of a spell book are another. Ta-ta! And then his opacity fades again.
His opacity. He becomes transparent.
Indeed. Okay, and I guess we'll go back next session with planning how to take down a big gold statue robot.
I'm very excited about this. Planning.
Yay, should be fun.
Do you
Full
see
name
my
is-
question in chat about?
I'm basing
This-
this campaign on Dwemer stuff from Skyrim. This particular quest is very much inspired by some of that stuff, but, you know, not fully, obviously, just inspiration. Nothing's,
Yeah, yeah.
exact.
Okay.
But yeah, not the whole campaign, for sure. The campaign is a big
No,
old
I just
cocktail
meant
of a lot
this
of things.
part. I just meant this part.
Gotcha. This is just a
In
little side
game,
quest on the...
when I return, I talk in secret to Mama Swizzle, and I pull her aside.
Mhm.
Whenever she has handed in the
Rusty?
see the what? Yeah,
Rusty?
whenever she has handed in the book, I understand that Mama Swizzle will not be able to tell anybody else my plan, not even EJ. So
Not
I
even
will be,
EJ.
Gasp.
I will
Really
be
gasp.
On
in
one
game.
hand, on one hand, I'm excited to not know the plan. On the other hand, how am I supposed to prepare for the
Would you like me to?
undoubtedly terrible consequences? Here, I'll just say I'll promise that I'm not gonna like plan a way to counter your plan if you do tell me. So it's up to you if you want to talk about it or not.
Okay.
I
Would
can
you
even
like me
help
to,
you
EJ?
like determine whether something would work or not if you want.
Okay.
But I would also like to be surprised. That sounds fun. So up to you.
I think I'd rather surprise you, and I'm not even sure it'll work, but I think it will surprise me.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I guess I'll go pee real quick, and you guys can discuss the plan if you want. I won't watch this part of the recording, and then I'll come back, and if you want, I can sing the song again.
Yay, music. Okay, so what's your plan?
Okay. Is he gone?
Yeah, he went to the bathroom.
Okay. I have a shrinking potion in my bag that I have taken from the first cave and exploration we went on together. I scooped it out of the water, and it made me like 1/3 of my size. If I pour this on this Tin Man, and I can give you some to help me pour it on other parts of him as well. I have like a satchel full of it. I filled that like my entire drinking flask, and I've never used any of it since. Like as you can see, it's still pulsing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If we pour this on him, he'll become like 1/3 to like 1/8 of his size. I think I got really small. Do you remember that? I was like the size of Thumbelina.
Yeah.
And my voice got really high. If we do that to him, he'll no longer be powerful, and all we have to do is step on him, and they will worship us. We shall do this.
You know what would be hilarious? You
What?
pour the potion on a part of him, like his leg or something, and only his leg shrinks down.
I'm worried about that. I am worried about that. So that's why I think I think we should like see what we can do and like spread that out.
Oh man.
Okay. We got this, Ray. You're in the plan now.
I'm in the plan now. My mouse was all.
Okay. And during that day, I'm going to probably obtain another flask from a dwarf. I'll probably buy it, and I'll fill some of the liquid in it and give you the flask. Do you understand what you need to do?
I'm a swizzle.
Mama Swizzle. Yeah, okay, understood. We nod and then we like fist bump, like with like, your little clawed hands.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay. Is Ethan gone forever, do you think, or is he not?
Nah, he just went to the bathroom. He'll be back to sing for you.
Hooray! I think this will be very exciting. Yeah, this was a good session today.
Yep.
I would really actually enjoy creating a character that can conduct. I don't know how their magic would work. Would they have like a conductor stick and they'd be like called a magician?
Or the conductor.
Oh, that's a great name. The Conductor.
Did I tell you about the character that I'm going to be bringing in after I'm done with Mama Swizzle?
Oh, what character are you bringing in?
So he's a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back. Yeah, you're good.
Hello.
Hello.
You're all
We
good.
have planned our plans.
Oh boy, I'm excited and scared.
Yeah, so Mama Swizzle knows what's going down and will be a part of it.
She agreed to it.
Yes,
Yep.
Mama Swizzle said, Mama Swizzle.
Exactly.
Great. Very nice.
So you're
Yeah, I
gonna sing for her?
Oh, if she wants. You want me to sing again? I'm probably not gonna act the hammer again because I punched my hand too many times and my hand hurts
Ouch.
now.
How many times did you do that?
Huh?
How many times did you do that?
Let's see, at least 3 times for every stanza, so that's like 15 or something. I don't know.
Let me figure out how to...
That's part of why I got distracted because I was like, man, I'm like doing this because, you know, I want to do the hammer sound, which wouldn't get picked up by the thing, but then I gotta like really act it up, but then now I'm just hurting myself. I quickly determined it was not worth the effort.
Honestly, EJ, I never knew you were such a good singer until I started watching Shrooms do Sea of Thieves.
Thank you. Honestly, I didn't really realize either.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. I thought to wait. Which one? What's first? I'm like stage presence now or stage fright. I gotta remember what how the song starts. Okay. I thought to make a horseshoe and asked my hammer thus. He said, "I'll ask the anvil what you require of us." The hammer asked the anvil, and she at once agreed that they should meet together in the way that I decreed. And it's sparks a-flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I thought to make an anchor for taking on the main. The hammer and the anvil relented once again. So they sat there together as I prepared the cast. They braced themselves for impact like a sailor on the mast. And it's sparks a-flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. I thought to make a broadsword for fighting on the field, much as I know the hammer is a nobler thing to wield. For though us humble tradesfolk choose a quiet life, the gods of war come to the door of the hammer and his wife. And it's sparks a-flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. They asked me for a statue of the general who died, a sword raised in his iron fist and a war horse at astride. And though I knew they'd try me for what I did decide, I stuck a hammer in his fist and an anvil by his side. And it's sparks a-flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. So all you merry blacksmiths, a warning take by me. Stick to your country horseshoes and your anchors for the sea. When the gods of war come calling, promising you gold, they'll take your hammer, take your anvil, take your very soul. And it's sparks a-flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song. And it's sparks a-flying, passion strong. I am the blacksmith singing the hammer and the anvil song.
Woo! Very good, very
Thank
good.
you. The dwarves thank you.
Incredible.
The dwarves think.
Honestly, the singing part was just inspired by like The Hobbit, where the dwarves are always singing songs. Or
That's what it reminded me of, indeed. Well, I mean, obviously, this episode was very Hobbit inspired, as I caught on to.
I mean, not the whole thing, but parts.
No.
Of it.
I got a lot of Skyrim inspiration too.
Yeah, just all the mythology. You know, that's
Yeah,
DMs
let's
are
throw
professional
together
thieves.
that-
All the mythology.
DMs are just stealing things from other works constantly.
Yeah,
No.
basically.
That's what all original ideas are. You just go into Chat GPT every time we say something. You're like, how do I respond?
Imagine though, we all play D&D
That's
together.
hilarious.
I get to be a player for once.
Woo!
No, you actually kind of do. But that's because you have a helmet that you get to voice.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
basically
and
have a character you can get to do whatever you want, so you get to play as well. Because what's his name's your character also.
I mean, not really, because like if I were a player in the campaign, then I would contribute more. But I'm trying to let you guys be in the spotlight, and my NPCs are just there to make the world work. So I'm purposely not letting Gohan be that big a character if I can avoid it. Also, I'm bad at remembering his voice. He started
That's
out a
fair, that's
Spaniard, turned into a Russian, and now he's
Well,
just kind of there.
I think you should make Rusty a bigger character.
He might be. We'll see. It depends, I suppose.
I played on
It
making
depends
sure
on how
Rusty
much you
sticks
enjoy
with
it.
us.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have a way to communicate with the rest of the party at this point, right?
Yeah.
Rusty, the sword, the short sword. You'll be your helpful buddy.
Yeah, it'll be
Assuming
like-
forging works.
Hello. Today.
My voice has changed because now I am a sword and I am awesome.
He became a
Oh my
Spanish.
gosh, that would be so good! Ah! My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Exactly.
Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant.
I'll try to remember to have him be a Spaniard. Help me remember.
Okay.
Because my voices always tend to like shift a little bit as I'm doing them because I gotta like think of too many things at once.
Yeah.
Okay, well thanks for the session. It was really fun. Oh, by the way, Ray, I asked everyone else before the session, like, how are you guys feeling about the campaign? Are y'all still enjoying it, etc., etc.? Because a lot of times we just join the call, begin the session, everyone leaves immediately, the session's done, so there's not a lot of like feedback I get. Wanted to make sure everyone's still enjoying it.
I've been enjoying it.
Yay!
I think Ray's character, you're really like starting to fit into it, Ray. Like you're slowly becoming able. Well, one, we have a way to communicate with you now, but my character is finally starting to understand that you are. I like the confusion that comes when you're gesticulating to us, and we can't possibly understand what you're saying, even if it's obvious. I love that. I think it's hilarious, and I think if you ever lose Rusty, you're not going to be in luck. And I think that could play into some crazy parts of our story, EJ. If you want to make things hard for us, EJ knows what to do.
We'll see how
I'm
things
just-
go. Honestly,
I'm just
Rusty
wondering-
wasn't intended to be a way for Mama Swizzle to communicate with everyone. It just, he's there. But it is helpful.
Yeah, but I know he wasn't intended, but I don't know, EJ. You run into some funny things. You just do good work, man. You do
Thank
good work. Let's see.
Always
Are we
kinda
gonna have a
encourages.
big bad evil guy? Is my question. I wonder.
Oh,
I
there is
wonder.
one. A couple, actually.
Well,
You just haven't met him yet. Or, I mean, maybe you have, but you don't know yet.
oh no! And it's Ananias.
Imagine, the entire course of the campaign has changed when Ananias makes themselves a god. Suddenly you all have to fight Ananias.
But listen, if they all believe in me, I just get stronger.
You might hope that. We'll see what happens.
Oh,
Evil
dear.
DM noises intensify.
I'm so excited. I'm brilliantly excited, EJ. This
Oh,
is great.
me too.
This episode of D&D was good.
This episode of
agree.
D&D was sponsored by...
Red Bull?
I don't know. Sprouts Wings.
Yeah, Sprouts. This episode of D&D was sponsored by Sprouts.
Sprouts. Oh, dear.
By the Scottish dwarves.
Hi, matey. Wait, that was pirate.
Wait, that's
sorry.
pirate.
Sorry.
Maybe next episode.
Song.
What'd you
Okay,
say?
I'm gonna let y'all go so I can get ready for climbing.
Okay, bye, Cat. Have a good night.
I really
Okay.
enjoyed this session. I felt like I got to play a role in it.
Oh,
That was pretty nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Wait, do you not usually?
Sometimes I'm a little more quiet.
Ah.
If you notice, like, I mean, I don't play a specifically loud character. But there's been episodes where my character's only talked like twice. But this time I talked more, and my person is getting to know more of QZ as well as Mama Swizzle, which is helpful for the amount of interaction I can have with her.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm glad your character's kind of breaking out of their shell a little more. Like having
Let's hope it's
friends.
in a positive way. You know, as like I feel like I'm a neutral good person in real life. You know, that's where I kind of stand.
In real life?
Ananias, I'm not quite so sure at this point. I think that
They're conflicted. They're like an anti-hero or something at this point.
they definitely have attachments to Carmen and would do anything to save them. But the problem is the difference between a hero and a villain is the hero would sacrifice Carmen to save the world. Ananias would sacrifice the world to save Carmen.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Makes for an interesting dynamic, though. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy to manipulate Ananias.
Finally, there's a way to control her. A year and a half.
Actually, AJ, I
Nah.
was just thinking that since we finally got to a point where Mama Swizzle's starting to be understood to be by people because of the sword, why don't we just throw a monkey wrench into the system and try to expedite that other plan we had?
You want your backstory to
I
come into
mean,
play?
yeah, if you talk about it, you know, communicating about it, if word gets out, you never know what might happen. I thought
Yeah,
you were gonna
so-
say something about now that you have a way to communicate, Sylvanas is gonna be like, no, and like find some way to kill that sword.
Well, I mean,
I mean, he could.
Ananias is a little bit curious as to why you can't talk. It just hasn't come up yet. So I'm sure at some point she'll ask
Oh, you can
some
actually
hard
do some
questions.
talking and bonding.
She'll ask some hard questions, and we'll have a bonding moment, and things will happen.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Things
That'll help
Things
the plan to move smoother.
Okay, bye guys.
See ya.
Bye bye.
I heard someone in your background.
My dad.
Would you like to do anything else, Ray, or chat about anything else?
No, I can't really think of anything.
Okay, maybe I'll find some more food then. Even though I had a banana, an apple, and some yogurt, I'm still hungry. So, I guess 2 hours has passed. But, yeah. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for the session. It was real fun.
Yep, it was.
See you next time.
Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Thank you.